Go Beyond Plus Ultra, and unfortunately, that's coming to an end. That's right. My Hero Academia creator Kohei Horikoshi has announced that My Hero Academia has entered its final arc and the final chapter is coming soon. Spoiler alert, there will be some spoilers for the manga and anime, but I do hope you stay tuned. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute, going for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications and consider becoming a channel member. All right. It's sad but true, everyone. Unfortunately, My Hero Academia, one of my top 10 anime and manga, it's finally coming to an end. It's entered its final arc, which is called Epilogue. So this is soul crushing for me, everyone. So this is from Sportskita. My Hero Academia manga chapter 424 is set to be officially released on Monday, June 3rd, 2024. However, days before its official release, the spoilers and raw scans from the manga were leaked online. And with that leak, fans learned that the upcoming My Hero Academia chapter 422 will be an epilogue. Does this mean that My Hero Academia manga will end with chapter 424? And I'm going to skip this line because it's a spoiler. My Hero Academia will not end after chapter 424. As revealed by the alleged spoilers, the upcoming 424 will be titled Epilogue. However, it will not be the manga's final chapter, as the same is yet to be stated by the manga series. Normally, a manga series announces its final chapter about 5 chapters before its release, since fans need not worry about a possible sudden conclusion to the story until its publishing company, Shueisha, announces the same through the weekly Shonen Jump magazine. The same can be affirmed by manga creator Kohei Horikoshi's comment in the upcoming week's weekly Shonen Jump magazine issue. The manga creator knew it was conventional for any shonen manga story to have a short end after the major battle. However, as per Horikoshi, My Hero Academia wasn't the type of manga that could immediately end after the fighting was done. Hence, the manga creator informed fans that he would keep the manga running for a little while until he reached the desired ending. With that in mind, after the battle, Kohei Horikoshi wanted to focus on the story's title, My Hero Academia. So it's really a shame because, like I said, My Hero Academia is a top 10 anime and manga for me. In fact, I won't say that My Hero Academia got me into manga reading. That was actually Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody, because that series ended after season 1, even though they could be up to season 4 at this point, but it ended after season 1. That got me into reading the manga because I wanted to see what happened with that story arc, right? Well, with My Hero Academia, it's a superhero. And for those of us in the United States, we're not used to our superheroes just ending, right? Batman has been around since 1939, Superman since 1938, and they continue on. And they've had relaunches, reboots, remakes where and they all start with one. I remember when I was a teenager, some started with zero. It was really this really cool special that DC Comics did. It was really neat. So that happens all the time here. However, in Japan, when a story comes to the end, it just comes to the end, and that's how it is, and you just have to deal with it. And it's a shame, but also, in a way, I'm kind of glad that that's what's going on, because I would rather it end on a high note than end on a sour note and get a reboot, like what happens with DC and Marvel all the time. So I'm very excited to see what Horikoshi has planned for us when it comes to the end. The new season of the anime has begun, and it takes place now. The anime is far behind the manga, or I should say, it's one arc behind the manga, I believe, is more accurate. So we saw the Dark Deku arc, which is really cool. Now, if you're unfamiliar with My Hero Academia, I think you would like it, especially if you're a fan of, say, the Teen Titans or the X-Men. So, or I should say, early X-Men. It takes place in a world where people develop powers called quirks, and 80% of the world's population has them. It's way deep into the future. And it follows this character named Deku, who he wants to be a superhero, and he wants to get into this prestigious superhero school called UA Academy, because superheroes, they're part of law enforcement in this world. And his favorite superhero is All Might. And All Might is really powerful. He's the number one hero in Japan. He was training, or he did his training in the United States of America, and he returned to his home country where he became known for always smiling, even in the heat of battle. He became known as the symbol of peace, and Deku just idolizes him. Well, one day he just has a chance encounter and is saved by his hero All Might. And through a series of events that I won't get into, All Might, even though Deku has no powers, he chooses Deku to be his successor and passes his powers on to Deku. That power is one for all, and it gives Deku this sort of static energy where he can increase his strength. And when he enters the UA high school, he meets rivals, he meets new friends, he meets new teachers, he meets superheroes different from All Might, and it shows his evolution as a hero. He starts going to like this wide-eyed wonder with a lot of ideals, and then he enters what is called the Dark Deku, where one of his favorite teachers tragically loses his life in a battle and with a villain, and Deku goes on the run and becomes a vigilante. And I highly recommend it because unlike DC and Marvel, where it's like, where should I start? Should I start with issue 20 or issue 1000? You can actually start with one with My Hero Academia. Now, it does have some spin offs, one of which is my favorite, which is called My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which is a prequel. And then it go about halfway through, it kind of meshes with the first story arc in the original run. Also, there's My Hero Academia Team Up Mission, which takes place, I want to say, well before the Dark Deku arc, before they call it the War arc, where the superheroes do battle against the League of Villains and the other allied villain org, and it's just the students, and it highlights other ones besides Deku going on missions with pro heroes, as they're called, to help save people. And then there's another one that I haven't read yet, but it's called My Hero Academia School Briefs, which just focuses like on sort of the high school drama of going to a superhero school. So there's something for everyone. You like the straight up superhero stuff, you've got the main line and My Hero Academia Vigilantes. You want team up stories, they've got My Hero Academia Team Up Missions. You want just some superhero high school drama, you've got School Briefs. So it's a lot of fun. There's something for everyone, and I'm excited but also sad because on one hand I don't want it to end because I love My Hero Academia so much. It really recaptured some of the magic that was lost with the decisions that Marvel and DC have been making regarding their franchises, right? But on the other hand, I don't want it to end on a sour note and need a reboot again, like the big two. Instead, I would rather it go out on a high note in a way where me and my fellow My Hero Academia fans, can cheer. We can say yes, we're excited. We've been following Deku and his fellow students through this whole ordeal of being thrown into conspiracy after conspiracy, attack after attack, and now they're heroes. And the school has this motto: "Go beyond plus ultra." So it means, don't just be super, be ultra, be plus ultra, and then even go beyond that. Always test your limits, always test your boundaries, always keep moving forward. And listen, if you're like, Jay, this sounds interesting, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to dedicate myself to 5 seasons of an animated show, or dive into the comics. Again, you can start with number one. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them on eBay. That's actually how I bought, I think, the first 25 volumes. Is I just went on eBay and bought them. They had the original Shonen Jump logo on it, as opposed to the more modern one that we see these days. And by the way, I got the English version and I watched the dub of My Hero Academia. But I think that going forward, if you're curious about where to start, I would say, yeah, start with number one. If you're not ready to dedicate yourself, because there's over 30 volumes of that manga, then I say do My Hero Academia Vigilantes, because it's only 15 volumes. So definitely start there. That one ended, I think, too early. In a previous video a while back, I had said that there was a rumor going around that they're going to do an anime of that one once My Hero Academia ends, because it has some of the same characters, but it's a different main character. If All Might is similar to Superman, it would be more like if the hero of that one who's very similar to Deku, but he's older. He's college age. He's called the Crawler, and he meets a superhero called Knuckle Duster. And so it's kind of like Deku meets Superman. Well, My Hero Academia is more like the Crawler meets Batman. So two very similar characters, but they have different mentors, and so their superheroing splits off. So I suggest you'd start with one of those two, or I would start with My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission, which is the third movie in the series, but it's standalone. You don't have to be familiar with the series. They do a good job of showing context that might be missing and brief flashbacks and whatnot, so you know what's going on. So you could start there and then or just start with the movies, but the first two you do need to be a little bit familiar with the show, or you could be a little lost, but I still recommend both of them. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on the matter. I'm very sad that this series is coming to an end, the manga and the anime, and I wish Kohei Horikoshi all the best. What a brilliant creator. I think we're going to see more from Horikoshi in the coming days. To everyone out there, go beyond plus ultra. Hi, if you liked that video, be sure to like it, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications, and consider becoming a channel member where you get exclusive perks, including once a week where I release a video early so that my members can watch it beforehand. And if you're not watching on YouTube, if you're on Rumble, Odyssey, or BitChute, and you're like, hey, I don't want to support you on Big Tech, I get it. Click on the link in the description, which is to my locals community. It's kind of like a Patreon or a subscribe star, where you can support indie creators like myself. Thank you so much, all of you rock. And I'm going to say thank you once again, and I hope that everyone has a fantastic day. I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute.